Hi, I'm Rotmill. For the past 4 months, I've been working with two other guys on Project O. It's a third-person Metroidvania where you play as a Necromancer. It's turning out to be a mix of Overlord, Pokémon, and Dark Souls. The project is still in the prototyping stage, so everything you see is placeholder content made solely to make the game mechanics functional. We've testing different ideas, constantly changing and reworking things, but all within the vision of the project. We've managed to create a small test level. Of course, it has little to do with the final content, but it's perfect for showing off progress and explaining what we've done so far. I've mostly built it based on tutorial levels from Dark Souls and Nier Automata. It starts with basic controls for our character. She can interact with the environment, run, dodge, and jump. She can also attack enemies. Combat for the main character is simple. A combo chain of basic attacks on one button and a finisher or critical strike on another. The finisher will work similarly to Doom Eternal, God of War, or any Souls-like game. Either we or our monsters deal damage to an enemy, and if we deplete their stamina bar, they become staggered. In this state, the main character can finish or critically strike them. This mechanic will reward unique or additional resources for leveling up. It's also designed to encourage more movement and tactical crowd control in combat, rather than standing still. After defeating the enemies, we move forward. This is where a resource called soul fragments comes into play. For example, collecting 30 fragments gives us one full soul of a corresponding monster, which goes into our soul vault. The vault is essentially an equivalent to a bonfire from Dark Souls. It resets the level and restores basic resources like health, mana, and a minimal number of our monsters. It will also serve as a hub for upgrading the protagonist and enhancing our monsters. Additionally, we can reorganize our monsters here. A good analogy would be the inventory system in Resident Evil. The player has a bag with a limited space and a chest storage system in safe rooms. Here we assemble our monster squad, sending weaker or ineffective ones to storage while equipping our bag with those most useful or powerful for the location. With the soul vault sorted, we now have a small squad. Switching between squad mode and solo necromancer mode is essential. I'll try to make this transition as seamless as possible. For example, any action involving squad control will switch to squad mode, while solo mode actions will switch us back. Of course, we'll add key remapping to the settings if we release a demo. Since the last update, we've overhauled the squad system. The main change is that the entire squad no longer follows the Necromancer constantly. This has greatly simplified several tasks and eliminated significant performance issues and AI bugs. Our current vision for the core gameplay consists of 3 main loops. Let's use Genshin Impact for comparison. In Genshin, you talk to NPCs, fight monsters, and explore locations for loot, puzzles, and hidden areas. In our game, you explore locations for loot, puzzles, and hidden areas, you fight with a small mobile squad or solo, and you engage the entire squad in combat, positioning them strategically. This part is inspired by tower defense, wave clearing in GTA 4, and challenges in Doom Eternal. These loops will mix and won't restrict playstyles, instead guiding players in the intended direction, much like Dark Souls does at the beginning, with its 3 paths to the Undead Borg, the Underground City, or the Skeletons. The squad assembled at the bonfire remains with us, but now only up to 6 monsters actively follow the Necromancer. The number depends on their size. For instance, A dragon will take up the entire small squad. However, we can summon the entire squad at any time, limited by the Necromancer's backspace and the magical power. We can position them or order them to attack. Here I showcase a mechanic we've already implemented, issuing commands to monsters to interact with the environment. This part is the siege section. We defend against enemies with the entire squad. Here are the beginnings of new environmental interaction mechanics. Different types of monsters have unique skills, up to 3. For example, shield skeletons have a knockback ability, which we can use on the environment. It's all very rough right now, but it's a start. In this area, for instance, we use archers to break a chain, lowering a drawbridge and unlocking a shortcut. I've also started working on the mechanic for summoning fallen monsters from the Soul Vault. Think of it like weapon durability in Dark Souls 2. Weapons have a durability meter, essentially their HP. When it hits 0, the weapon breaks and can't be used until it's repaired at the blacksmith, which costs money. Similarly, in our game, when a monster dies, it returns to the Soul Vault. To summon it again, you'll need to spend a certain amount of soul energy. Once summoned, it reappears in the Necromancer's bag, ready to use. That's our progress so far. I've also started working with gameplay tags, which are proving to be very convenient. I plan to restructure everything to use them. This will make the project more optimized, cleaner, and modular. I'm really looking forward to the next 2 to 3 months. With the holiday season coming up, I hope to make as much progress as possible. Thank you for continuing to follow me. Huge thanks to the supporters on Patreon and Boosty. Your contributions are being saved and will be invested into this or another project of mine. Soon I'll share some additional content for all Patreon and Boosty subscribers. This time we didn't manage to create a playable prototype, so I'll upload a model from my 3D modeling practice. For paid supporters I'll include an FBX file, a control rig and a Unreal Engine 5 project with physics, animations, etc. I won't leave you without content. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas about the project. What do you like in games? What elements attract or repel you? How do you imagine a game about a necromancer managing a squad? Leave a comment under the video or in Discord. In any case, any activity from you is a great motivator and helps promote the content. In return, I'll do my best to create a good game as soon as I can. See you in the next video.